guys, one of my most requested videos recently has been a full face of Makeup Revolution, and whenever I happen to find one of those comments from like a few videos ago, it's always got loads and loads of likes and thumbs up and stuff, so I thought it was about time I got around to doing it. The reason I've put it off is I really struggled to find base from the brand in my shade. Every single time, there's only, my local store doesn't stock Makeup Revolution, and I kind of wanted to see it because you never know. Colours and stuff don't look the same online always as they do in store, so I wanted to see it in store. And I went to Meadowhall Superdrug last night, which does stock Makeup Revolution, and it's just been totally picked over. I mean, it's a popular kind of inexpensive brand, so it's to be expected, but I've been trying to get this stuff for months and months and months. So I ended up with just a concealer, which is a little bit yellowy. I'm not 100% sure about the colour, but a concealer and a pressed powder. So that's my base. And I'm hoping to be able to work around with what other stuff I've got. Okay, a couple of things. The dog is now making noise with his toy in the other room, and there's the potential for it to rain. I'm filming in a conservatory, which is basically like filming inside a drum when it rains. It's so, so loud. So if suddenly you notice that I'm skipping parts or it goes quiet and I put music over the top or something, that's why. But fingers crossed, siren in the background. Fingers crossed we make it through the video. So I'm gonna kick off with the concealer, which I haven't even opened this yet. I do have a little haul actually coming your way very, very soon. But I wanted to film this first of all. I'm going to have to film the haul because I want to get everything out and start using it. But a couple of these things were things that I actually bought in the haul. This looks really yellow. I swear to God. This video does not want to be made. As soon as I started putting the concealer on, Lee called me. There's like 1,000 million different things going on and noises and stuff. Yeah, the concealer looks pretty yellow. I don't know. I'm also going to try and use the Makeup Revolution brushes throughout, by the way, because it's something a lot of people have asked me to review the Makeup Revolution brushes, and I assume that they're actually referring to the new ones, which I don't have, so I can't review them. I don't know. Yeah, I can't review them because I don't have them, unfortunately, but I have done a review of brushes and kind of applicators within various different budgets, and I included the original Makeup Revolution brushes, like the full set that you can get, in that video if you're interested. I really don't love that. It feels okay, but it kind of settled into every little pore and dry area it could find. So I blended it out as much as possible, but I am going to go back in just under my eyes where I've got some dark circles and use the, this is like the collection Lasting Perfection concealer, which I kind of rediscovered recently actually. I hadn't used it in years maybe, so this is a really old tube. I don't know if it's been years, it feels like it has. But it is as good as everybody says. I am kind of trying to focus more on the inner corner these days because I'm really struggling to find a concealer that doesn't settle into fine lines. I feel like I've aged overnight. I suddenly have so many, and it's probably dehydration because I know I don't drink enough water, but I definitely am struggling with that. So I try to kind of focus my concealer just in that area where I feel like it needs to be brightened as opposed to my entire eye, because the only thing I need to cover around here isn't really that bad in winter, and that's the pigmentation that I get around my eyes. A couple of people have asked me about that recently actually. I'm going to use the pressed powder now, which by the way is in the funkiest packaging ever. It's like, comes out like that. The bottom has like a powder puff thing, and then underneath, if you take the label off, it's a mirror. Best packaging ever. I'm going to put a little bit of that on. Yeah, a couple of people have asked me recently about the pigmentation around my eyes because apparently it has diminished, it doesn't look as bad, and a couple of people asked me what I'd done and what I'd been using. Honestly, I've used so many things over the years. Some things work, some things don't. I don't think there's any permanent fix for me with the type that I have. Unless I was going to go for something really, you know, over-the-counter kind of stuff. So I can't tell you that I've used something and it's a miracle, unfortunately, but I do find that it fades in winter, a bit like freckles and stuff. So I'm going to use the Arch and Shape brow pencil. Well, it's actually a brow pencil on one side, but it's a felt tip on the other. And the brow pencil I'm completely out of. I really, really like this. So I'm going to use the felt tip side. Again, I feel like I was just going to go completely out of shot then. I feel like I was completely remiss yesterday while I was in Superdrug and thinking, what do I need for this video? And I just didn't even think about brows because I thought I had that covered. I knew I had a couple of them. Turns out I'd actually used them to death. and so I hadn't. But I really like the felt tip end of this, and now my brows are a teeny bit, I think this is the lightest shade you can get, the one I have here. Although my bugbear with Makeup Revolution stuff is a lot of it doesn't have the anything on it, like nothing. It just says what the product is. So if you bought 3 of them, which happens, even 2 of them, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart from trying to guess from colour. But I don't actually know. I would guess this is blonde or a fair colour. But I really like this for just lightly filling in, and it looks really natural. It gives you really fine brush strokes. I actually like this even more now because I've been using something, I don't know if you can tell, you probably can't tell now, that looks super uneven. But I've been using something to grow out my brows, which I will talk about in another video, and I'm so impressed with it. And I can kind of just get away with filling them in now as opposed to creating them from nothing. And I find that this particular one, the felt tip end of this, definitely works a little bit better when you've got something to fill in as opposed to like penning in your brows, which is what I used to have to do. I mean, they're still quite sparse, but as it goes, they're amazing compared to what they were like before. I don't think I have the Makeup Revolution primer for eyes, so I just popped onto my Urban Decay primer potion just because I literally cannot find it. If I've got it, I can't find it. But I'm going to go in with eyes now, and I'm going to use this relatively new palette, which I've not used all that much, but that's kind of why I want to use it. I love it so much. It's such an unusual mix of colours, and it's called the New Newtrals, or Newtrals versus Newtrals. Newtrals. So this is kind of the Newtrals, and this is the Newtrals, which is, I suppose it must be kind of a play on the fact that Masala, is it Masala? Marsala? I think it's Marsala. Masala. Like tikka masala, right? I don't know. I think that that is kind of a play on that being the colour of the year, with it being kind of new and in right now. So I'm going to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to kind of swatch some of the colours to get an idea of what I might want to do. Okay, I think I'm going to go matte. Because I do like my mattes, and I'm going to use these 2 shades first of all. This one kind of inner, this one on the outer of my lid. I'm going to use the brush that actually comes with the kit. Comes with the palette. Shall we try and zoom in? Should we try and do that? Because it's such specific focus with this camera, because it's just one layer, I always want to say. One layer of focus. This always goes horribly wrong when I try to zoom in and show you anything in detail. So we'll see. Now I'm going to go for these 2 shades. I don't know, a mixture in somehow of these 2 in my crease. Hooded eyes, this is the point where you kind of try and even everything up, because I look and this eyelid has got less space than the other one, so I need to kind of, bane of my life, I swear. I think what I'm going to do is go in with this kind of coral colour, this like peachy coral colour, and make that my kind of blendy colour. Blendy. That's super professional. It's because I'm not a professional. I'm going to use that as my transition between the creamy colour and the warm oranges and reds. Okay, now I'm going to use this shimmery kind of, what is this? Like I don't know, a shimmery nudie pale colour on the inside quadrant. I don't know, what are we calling this? On the inner part of my eye. Brighten that up because I don't want to bring the crease colour all the way in. Really, I just want to combat the fact that I have already brought the crease colour all the way in and I didn't want to do that. Now I'm going to take the deep matte brown from here and put that underneath my eyes. I'm actually going to use, no, I'll use the flat end of the brush that comes with the palette. but I'm just going halfway. A little bit. Onto the top. I'm going to make that it for shadow and go in with liner now. Use this mirror, that's useful. I'm going to use this, the lid won't stay on, the All Day and Night pencil in One Sin Too Many, which is just black. And I'm going to line the waterline, again, halfway, top and bottom. And then I'm going to bring it out ever so slightly on to my eye. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to take, I think I will take a clean version of that other end one, the little flat one. Am I in focus right now? I think so. It's a constant game of in and out of focus when I try and do these videos. I'm going to use that flat, it could be anything, just a really, really small kind of detail brush and wing it out ever so slightly. This is the only way I've ever managed to do winged pencil liner, or just anything a little bit flared, without totally losing all my lid space. So if you have hooded lids or just like small eyes, something that you don't want to like put a lot of eyeliner but you quite like that slightly pulled out look, I have found that this works quite well for me. Although this brush is not really fine enough, I would say you want something a bit smaller. Okay, mascara, and then we are done with eyes. We've got Amazing Volume. This is the one that I picked up because the only one I've tried, I think, from Makeup Revolution before I really didn't like, it was Snake, Viper or something like that. But this brush looked like the kind of brush, like the kind of brush that I would like. We will see. I don't like, for those of you that have not watched me before, those of you that have will know this a million times already. I don't like the big, fat, bristly brush. I prefer something that's like a rubber wand. And this, for most volume mascaras, they are a big, fat brush. And this is a big, fat brush, but it's rubber. So I'm hoping I'll get along with it. With the only one there, again, it had been picked over the stand, so it's hard to say what is actually available. But the only one there that I thought I would actually like. It's okay. It's grabbing my lashes more than a normal volumizing thick brush would, but I don't love it. It's okay. Did manage to smudge it just a little bit onto my lid, which is part of the reason I don't like the big brushes normally. Which is funny, it totally does just come down to personal preference and like skill and how you apply something, because I read the other day, or I watched something, I forget, and someone was saying that they didn't like those tiny rubber bristled, whatever, rubber wands because of the same reason. So obviously very kind of individual. I actually did have one of the product that I wanted to use on my eyes, and it's the Amazing Inner Eye Brightener, which is basically just like something, does what it says on the tin. One of those kind of nude, shimmery liners. And I'm just going to use it on the inner eye, which is as it tells me to. Okay, let's move away from the eyes because I keep smudging them. I'm gonna use the Radiance palette. In fact, no, let's do contour first. I've got the Ultra Contour palette. I don't have a brush that's really suitable for this. They do have a contour palette, it's kind of like a blush brush, like an angled shape. But I'm gonna use this one from Freedom because it's just the best thing to do this with. And it's just really, really tapered. I don't know if you can get this individually or only as part of the contour palettes, but it's good. It felt really weird then. I don't know. I'm going to use the very, very palest, which is not super pale, but the palest contour colour. And I'm going to look crazy. Whenever I really try at contouring, it does look good. You know, when I have the time to mess around with it and blend it within an inch of its life, I do end up looking, you know, more sculpted and all that. But I just still have it in my mind that it can go so wrong, and so I hardly ever do it. We're going to try and do the nose. This is always, I'm not even going to put anything extra on my brush. I'm just going to use the whatever is left. Because I have like an odd nose where it's like uneven. And in theory, contour would work for me, but I think you need a bit more skill than I have. Rather than using these for highlight, I'm then going to use the Radiance palette. Shall I do... They do have a really nice colour in the contour palette, which I can't open right now. Packaging! They do have a nice colour that kind of gives a similar effect to this, but I'm going to use this as an all-over-ish radiant glow. So in place of where I would use the pale colour from the contour kit. And then I'm going to use this just on my cheekbones. I'm not going to use this because it's really bronze and it's not really me. But that initial colour, which I don't know if I know what colour it is. I don't. I just love these so much. I'm really just using it everywhere, aren't I? Just everywhere I want to look a little bit glowy because it's not too much. It's not, you don't get outside and go, whoa, sparkle. Let's just put it everywhere. Then I'm going to do the middle colour, which is definitely a lot more highlighty, and I'm going to just focus that in the main highlighty area. Basic highlighting. And I suppose you could use, I mean I have used these colours like to try and do that slight contour and stuff, but it's just a little bit too golden and orange and whatever for me. I can't stop highlighting. Let's just stop doing that now. Okay. Lips. Lips I'm not sure about. I have some options. I have kind of a nude colour. The Wow Gloss from I Heart Makeup I really, really like. I use this all the time. You will have seen me use this in videos. But I feel like I'm going to go for more of a mix. Because we've gone for the nude neutral thing. I'm going to mix these two together. The Lip Lavas are excellent. Really, really opaque. Very, very like thick liquid lipstick. So I'm going to mix these two together. The colours I have are... I have no idea what the colours are. Tell me why I don't know. Annoying. I'm going to use the nude colour, first of all. Which is... okay. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going to use a lip brush. It's actually an eyeshadow brush, but I'm going to use this tiny brush and I'm going to apply it like that because this has clearly leaked somewhere along the lines. I just really love the texture of them. Although they look like they should be a gloss, they are a liquid lipstick. That's kind of a satin and it lasts so, so long. Then I'm going to use the coral, which is not leaked. But I'm still going to use the makeup brush. It would be easier to blend, I suppose, to mix them together. I'm using kind of like the OCC lip tar, I suppose. I'm making kind of a peach. But they last so, so long. My favourite lip products from Makeup Revolution by far. So I think that we did all of the steps. I know I didn't do blush, but I don't always do blush and this has a lot of colour. So I decided to just kind of stay highlighty, contoury, although this contour looks a little bit not so blended. So there we go. That is my full face of Makeup Revolution. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I wanted to do something a little bit more adventurous since Makeup Revolution are known for kind of colour and especially with the eyes. I didn't feel like I could do just a normal average makeup look with this purely because I didn't feel like that's the brand to do that with. It's a little bit like doing it with Mascara and then just doing kind of like really, really plain makeup. It's not really that kind of brand, is it? If you have any other requests of specific brands, please let me know. I do have a running list. But hopefully I finally ticked this one off. I'll do another one in the future, but for now I wanted to do something with one of their quite new palettes for those of you that might want to see it in action from me. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you guys next time. Bye!